It's 2013, ladies and gentlemen, and we have survived the attack of the zombie apocalypse. However, that does not mean that the war is not over yet, because we still got a long way to go.
Anyways, what we have here is Isolated Warrior, released on the NES in early 1991 and developed by Kid Corporation, the same team that previously worked on Burai Fighter for the NES, which I have previously reviewed back in May of 2010. The NES had a handful of shoot-em-ups, but this is one that stands out so far, according to my NES collection at the moment.
Right now, let's see how this game stacks up. Let's go ahead and pop this game into the NES and see how it holds up today. Outside of our galaxy, on a faraway planet known as Pan, you take the role as Max Maverick, a warrior who decides to stay behind after everyone was told that the planet is called for a mandatory evacuation. An alien race has taken over his home planet, and it's up to you to lock and load and prepare to fight. Otherwise, your home planet will be history before you know it, since you are the only survivor. Isolated Warrior is a shoot-em-up game which is quite similar to other shooters of the time, such as Burai Fighter, R-Type, and more. The format is on an isometric scale, which it follows that similar format to shmups such as Zaxxon or Viewpoint.
The controls in this game are very tight and spot on, but the main problem is trying to properly align your shots in this game, which will take a little time getting used to, especially if you're playing this game for the first time. For the most part, if you die, you can only blame yourself.
Loads of power-ups will be acquired throughout the game, just how it is in other shmups you may have played. You can upgrade your firepower, get a shield, acquire bombs, and more throughout. This game also has a lot of hidden secrets where you can max out on extra lives, health, and gun power-ups so you can stay alive. The bosses in this game, some of them are huge screen-filling bosses, and it's just as relentless waiting to kick your ass. Sometimes you will confront a mini-boss long before you reach the end boss of a stage, which will most likely be very easy to dispatch. The final boss in this game can annoy you with the huge lasers he fires at you, and you better be on guard because it's definitely no time for screw-ups. The passwords in this game are relatively easy to remember since it consists of only 4 numbers. In later levels of the game, before the level starts, you are granted with a new password. However, The problem with this is that it will keep you away from getting the best ending of the game if you enter them in. What do I mean by best ending, you may ask? Well, the ending of the game is very similar, but it will tell you that you must not use a continue every time you lose all of your lives. You won't be able to enter stage 7, in which by then, you will know after beating the game, it will strictly tell you that 3 years ago, I've done a playthrough of this game in multiple parts, and I started the game by entering a password in which I could start the game off with 1 slit of health. Yes, I'm a pro at this game, and I did not get the ending I was expecting to get, let alone get into stage 7. In other words, my advice to you is to don't bother entering the passwords in, and just play the game without screwing up. The overall design is tubular for an 8-bit NES game in 1991. The isometric 3D view is where it brings a lot of appeal to the eye, despite that the NES had limitations. From one stage to the next, boredom is nowhere to be found, and not one stage looked the same from the last. Each cutscene in this game is also impressive to look at, but you probably may think the cutscenes in games such as Ninja Gaiden and Vice Project Doom are more mind-blowing. Overall, the intermission cutscenes in this game gets the job done. The only problem I have with this game is when there's too much going on the screen, it will slow the game down, which I would feel that is common on many shmups released in the NES era, and half the time it could lead to frustration and you would tend to die a lot. However, it could be worse if you played Viewpoint for the Sega Genesis. So far, the music in this game screams kick ass. All of the tunes featured in this game fits very well for the moods that takes place here. It's hard to explain that the tunes in this game were also composed by the same people who did the music in Burai Fighter and Low G-Man, simply because, judging from the in-game soundtrack, I can say that the game has similar music from the other two games I have stated about, considering that the developer behind this game had the same composers. My favorite tune from this game will be from stage number 4 when you are on the hover bike driving down the highway, destroying the alien bastards who comes your way.
Is Isolated Warrior for the NES something I recommend you get? Yes, but that is if you people out there love challenging shooters with a decent plot. Should I call this shoot 'em up a hardcore shmup? Well, I could say that in my book. It's fast, challenging, and never slows down or gets boring. It's one of the best shoot 'em ups I have played, and I feel that this game deserves a remake on the 3DS and Wii U. Nintendo, I know you're listening. So my suggestion to you is Go out and buy yourself an NES and get this game. Well, until then, I'm kidThunder, and I'm signing off for now. Happy 2013. Happy gaming, folks. Stay tuned for more from kidThunder Productions.